In today's world, engines are more advanced than ever, but with that complexity comes new challenges. And inside the 2020 BMW 330i, the B46 engine hides one of the most intricate cooling systems BMW has ever engineered. A mechanical water pump, an electronically controlled thermostat, and deep beneath the intake manifold, a heat management module that dictates the entire thermal strategy of the car. And when any of these components start to fail, the whole system can fall apart. Overheating, reduced performance, coolant loss, even engine damage. Today we dive into the heart of the B46 and replace the water pump and the heat management module, the two components responsible for keeping this engine alive. Before anything comes apart, safety and preparation are everything. Make sure to disconnect the battery. We will also be removing the intake manifold, not because the job is difficult, but because BMW tucked the heat management module beneath it in one of the tightest areas of the engine bay. I'm going to go ahead and remove these plastic covers as well as the DME just to make more room for the intake manifold to come right out. Next, the engine's brain, the DME, has to come out. It lives in a plastic bucket on the driver's side. This looks like a nightmare of wires, but it's just a matter of systematically unplugging things. Flip up the locking tabs on the big DME connectors and pull them out. Mark the smaller connectors with tape and numbers so you don't have to guess later. A few push tabs holding the housing in, release those, and you can lift the whole module out and set it somewhere safe. Grab yourself a trusty 10mm to remove the DME bucket. Here's the location of the two 10mm bolts. And voila, there goes the DME. Now that's what I call extra space. Now this air box has to go. Let's remove it. Now you could grab yourself a 6mm to remove the air filter box. Once the clamp is loosened, you can now work your way to the mass airflow sensor to unclip it from the air box. To remove this intake air duct, there is one clamp and two vent hoses. One right here, and there's another one that connects to the valve cover on top right here. Unplug a few connectors that are in the way. Don't forget this clamp I was talking about earlier. And the intake air duct is fully removed. Now we can work our way to remove this plastic charge pipe. Just like the air intake duct, there is one clamp on the turbo. Over here, there are 3 T30 bolts on the throttle body and 2 connectors. Here's the T30 I used to remove the bolts on the throttle body. The charge pipe now is fully removed. With the little stuff that we removed, we gained so much access. The intake manifold has a few 10mm. You can see them here. Yes, they are kind of hidden, but you can reach them. This water pump is not the correct part. I was literally stressing out and lost and didn't know what to do. I was looking over the original water pump and you could see this coolant pipe right here. If you look at this water pump, it has none. I was literally lost and it was about to clock out until... Yes guys, I found the correct water pump. Now let's get to removing this intake manifold. Make sure not to miss this sneaky screw in the back that holds the intake manifold into place. Finally, we can see the intake manifold, but hold on. We have to disconnect everything attached to it first. Unplug the throttle body at the front, disconnect the fuel tank vent valve line. Now comes the fun part, feeling around for all the various vacuum lines and electrical connectors hidden underneath. Be patient with the clips. They can be tricky. There's one particular annoying hose underneath the intake manifold that you will have to feel for. Once you're positive everything is disconnected, you can unbolt the manifold from the cylinder head. There are several bolts and you'll need an extension. If you guys are enjoying the content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Okay, double check that everything's disconnected. Now carefully lift the intake manifold straight up and away. A little bit of coolant might spill out, so be ready. And there it is. After all that work, we finally have a clear shot of our target, the heat management module, sitting right there on the side of the block. I went ahead and removed the bolts on the heat management module just because trying to get a camera down there is almost impossible. But I'm going to pull this module out and show you guys where the bolts are. If you guys can't tell, these are two different modules, but guess what? I'm not stressed out because I know how to fix this. Here you can see we have the correct module. Also take note of the E10 bolts and their locations. This is the hardest one right here. On the home stretch, the new module is in, and now we just have to reverse the process. Before though, we're gonna move on to the front water pump. This tensioner has 3 bolts, one right here, and one more at the bottom. Oh, well, the other side, not there, right here. Once the tensioner is removed, we can move on to removing this coolant pipe that's connected to the water pump, then remove the water pump itself. And by the way, all of these bolts are T30. I'm going to remove this gasket right here because I'm going to be replacing that as well. Remove the 3 T30 bolts on the water pump pulley. You'll have more space to reach the bottom bolts. Now grab yourself a pry bar and pry at the top of the water pump. You don't want to go too crazy because you don't want anything to crack. And there it is. The water pump broke free. Well, you know what's next. Here's that new O-ring. We are definitely on the home stretch. The new water pump is installed and the heat management module is in place. Now it's time to get this back together. Carefully lower the manifold back onto the cylinder head, making sure you don't trap any wires underneath. Once it's seated, start all the mounting bolts by hand, then tighten them. Oh, and don't forget that one E10 bolt in the back of the intake manifold. Now just methodically reconnect everything. The throttle body, the vent valve, all the electrical plugs, all the vacuum lines. Check and double check that every single connector clicks into place. This is where a simple mistake, like a forgotten plug, can cause a check engine light and a ton of frustration. Next, reinstall the DME and its housing. Drop it back into its bucket and reconnect all the wiring harnesses, pressing the locking levers down until they click. Now for the charge pipe. You remember those 3 T30 bolts in that one clip? Yeah, put those back. Reinstall the air box, connecting it to the turbo inlet and plugging in the mass airflow sensor. Now that everything's back together, let's reconnect the battery. Oh look, there's light. If you guys don't know what coolant to use, this is perfect for your BMW. Now for the single most important final step, refilling and bleeding the coolant system. You cannot just pour coolant into a modern BMW and call it a day. Air pockets will get trapped and cause the car to overheat, even with your brand new parts. And don't forget, there's 2 coolant reservoirs. Make sure to fill both to max because the coolant level will get lower. Because we are going to start the car and bleed the system. If you guys didn't know, these cars take about 2 jugs of coolant, maybe a little less, but just get 2 just to be safe. All right, the moment of truth. Everything is back together, the system is bled, the battery is connected. Let's start her up. The check engine light is gone. Let's turn this heat up to help the bleeding procedure. If this guide helped you and gave you the confidence to do this yourself, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. And maybe consider subscribing for more deep dive BMW do-it-yourselves.